All right, so I'm going to start a new project. Um, going to work on a different style cup here that uses a screw-on lid. So, and it screws to the outside, not the inside. So, in order to do this, I'm going to have to not only prep by sanding, but also tape off the um, top lip and protect it as much as possible to keep epoxy from getting onto this stuff and keep it from affecting these threads here. So we'll see how everything goes. And I've done one similar to this where I've kept the threads from getting affected. Let's do another one. Well, hopefully at this point, you know the first step is always to clean and scrape and sand. So first trying out the scraper didn't work too well. So going back and forth between the scraper, sanding. But this one was really tough because it's a brand new cup. So trying to go back and forth between the scraper, sandpaper, didn't necessarily go too well. So trying out and ended up going with the electric sander, random orbital sander, which that made it real quick. And then just taking finish sanding out by hand all the spots that the electric sander couldn't get. All in all, it took about an hour to finish out. So then I just painted with some light and dark purple stripes for a bonding agent before doing my layer of epoxy. So at this point, just layering on the first layer of epoxy before getting to put some glitter on. So, I mean, just like any other cup, but as you can see down there, trying to protect those threads for the cap, I put some tape on there. That was the biggest difference, was putting tape to protect the threads. Making sure to get a good coat on the bottom, put some sheets of paper down, and then move on to some glitter. Throwing in some lighter purple, different shades of color. And then just continuing on. Always dumping every single pour back into its bottle. So I love mixing the different colors of glitter. It always ends up so that it's not just one color of purple onto it, one color of glitter. So it just allows for a different shade once it all settles in. I've been experimenting making different colors. So this just allows for a different point of view. So once that all hardens and settles, that's when you apply your next coat of epoxy on top of the glitter. One thing I did want to note is that after each layer of epoxy, as it starts to harden, I pull that tape off of the threads. So as you can see there, the color of the tape was purple after the spray paint. Now it's blue again. So that's just a fresh coat of painter's tape. And doing a nice coat of epoxy over the glitter to seal it all in. And then this is cutting out the designs, all kinds of different heart shapes and butterflies. The saying that's going on is beauty is love. One thing I did not show was the process of weeding. It actually took me 2 days because it was such an intricate process. So that this is such an intricate design, if you do want to see that in more detail, the next cup I do with the intricate designs, it did take forever. So I can do a much longer video with that. So feel free to ask in the comments on doing a more intricate weeding process. So this is just applying the decals after it's all been sanded down and roughed up so that the decals and the next layer of epoxy can set up on the cup itself. One thing I did not do is I did not change out the I did change out the painter's tape after the last layer of epoxy because it's making sure that it did not seal the painter's tape onto the threads at all. So just applying the decals and the saying, and then sealing all in with a layer of epoxy. It all sealed really nicely. Everything laid flat with the exception of a couple spots, but it all went fairly smoothly overall. The biggest issue I had was some of the intricate designs tried to peel up, so after I was all done putting this all down, had to spend a couple extra minutes getting it all to smooth out with some bubbling, getting into those really intricate spots. So it was a really deep spot, but you know, the heat gun did a lot of help. Had to spend a little bit of extra time getting that all done, but it actually came out really beautiful. So just wanted to share. This cup was a really interesting project. With the end result came out really beautiful. And thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this cup. I certainly enjoyed making it, and we'll see you on the next go round.